Welcome to the Brown and White's new web series, a project started by our multimedia team to give a bigger voice and a bigger platform to Lehigh students. In such a divisive time, it's important to hear multiple sides of each story. There is no right or wrong. It's not just black or white. It's not blue versus red. This is purple. For the first episode of Purple, and in honor of Black History Month, we are sitting down with two student leaders on campus to hear about their experiences at Lehigh.
Talking about race, talking about our experiences, talking about our backgrounds are so crucial because we all come from different states and different backgrounds and surrounded by different people that kind of mold the way we view the rest of the world. And then we come to Lehigh and that's not the case. We have people coming from all over. So that's why it's so crucial to have these effective dialogues and active listening because you're learning more about the world around you and what people have gone through. Race literally is always in my mouth every single day. I'm always talking about the challenges, always talking about something that happens every single day. And it's so unfortunate that I don't know, that's the way my life is, and it's really scary. That's like the world we live in.
Yes, I have. Spring semester last year. It was me and my ex, and we was at a bus stop over there at Packer Ave, right? Two white guys in the truck pulled up next to us, put the window down, and was like, "Hey, yo, bro, you know what they're selling weed at?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And then he was like, "Do you know anybody else who be selling weed that we can get?" And I was like, "No, I don't smoke. I don't do nothing like that." It was like, "Oh, sure," and then left off. And I remember she was back with me, and she was like, "Wow," and I was like, "I'm used to that." You don't really expect those things until it really happen. You know, that wasn't the first thing, but that's the most recent racism that I experienced here on campus. I was wearing like a regular Lehigh student, had a backpack and everything, and they still asked me if I was like selling weed or something like that, and I was like,
I personally don't think I've ever experienced racism on Lehigh's campus, but definitely ignorance that it wasn't to the level of racism. I would call it racism. I remember two examples I can think of was one, so my hair is without the braids, it's very kinky, it's very curly, it's very thick. And I remember I just had wash day, and so what happens with my hair is that it likes to shrink. So after a wash day, because it's so coily and very thick, it will just shrink up in its length. And so I remember I was at the library and had two pigtails in my hair. I was there at the library, it was 4 o'clock, whatever. And I remember one of my friends came over hugging me, and this is supposed to be someone who's my friend, and she said, "Oh, you look so cute with your hair, where's the rest of it?" And to me, that was so offensive because, this is my hair, this is how it looks like. It doesn't have to be straight all the time or this way. This is how my hair naturally grows from my scalp, and this is the way it operates. And so to me, that was so offensive. And this was supposed to be someone who's supposed to be my friend. That kind of took me the wrong way, and I was just trying to explain to her "Oh, I just washed it, it shrinks up, that's why I have it braided right now to kind of stretch it out," things like that. But still, that kind of hurt me deep down, and that was last year, and I still remember it. I'm always involved in conversations. I did leadership. I'm all part of all these different programs and leadership building, things like that. And I feel the words, I've been saying this a lot lately, diversity, inclusion, and privilege are overused. I think people use, they throw this word around "Oh, we care about diversity, we care about inclusion. Oh, I recognize my privilege as a student," but I feel people just throw that word around and don't really understand what that means or how to realize this privilege. And I think we need to, as students, engage more in conversations. So a lot of people say this "Oh, we care about diversity, we can have on Greek life, we can have a committee of a diversity chair to bring more diverse students into our Greek life, whatever, or Greek house." I think it's Lehigh, different organizations and clubs and offices host so many events, talks, they bring people in, they bring talks speakers in, they have student-led facilitations and all these events. And so I think the first step to be more engaged and learning about what other students are going through and the other experiences that are different than your own is going to these events. A lot of times they lack attendance from people who should be there, who should be engaging in these conversations. You're always seeing the same faces, so they're held so often. Grab a friend and be like, "You know what, I want to come to this conversation." Debate is healthy, so it's good to have these debate and ask these questions because you're having dialogue and effective communication where you're going back and forth and trying to understand, come to a common ground about understanding. And so I think that's the first step, is utilizing our resources and utilizing what Lehigh has to offer when they host these events and actually showing up.
some of the tips I would recommend is don't believe everything you see on TV. You know, TV is the news, and TV is two of the main biggest things that like make stereotypes so like real on campus. You know, some of the reason why a lot of people don't want to go to these events, they'll all talk but not no action because they are afraid and uncomfortable to really like go out their zone. You know,
Their comfort zone.
Yeah, the comfort zone is like they don't want to be like, oh, I say this, I know my privilege. Like you said, I know my privilege, but my question is like, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to utilize your privilege that you know you have and make it better for like people around you? You know what I mean?
Because you see things on TV and you're just so quick to believe it. It's good to ask these questions. It's good to be engaged in these dialogue. It's good to question what you're seeing. Be like, is this really true? This and that. Questions are healthy.
Like you said, people are afraid to reach, like, go to a black person, like, oh, is it rude for me to ask what kind of hair you got, or is it rude for me? And like some people be like, no, but you need to understand, you know what I mean?
The way you say it.
The way you say it. It's the way you say certain things that like affects us, you know, like offend us some way, you know? And we just like inform. It's also like a two-way. It's always a two-way street.
Exactly.
It's always a two-way street. It's them approaching us and us responding in a respectful manner, so they won't feel like we're
being attacking.
Exactly.
Or we're demeaning them. Like,
exactly.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a like infinite list of amazing clubs and organizations on Lehigh's campus just celebrating people of color. You know, we have this space, the M Room, Multicultural Room, like the space itself, I don't know, it's amazing. I don't even know where to start. Like, of course, my org, like Sigma Upsilon Sorority Incorporated. So special shout out to Circle of Sisters and Men of Color Alliance, National Society of Black Engineers, who is Black Student Union. The Office of Multicultural Affairs is always hosting like Real Talk series, which are student led. I just want to go to say that there's a ton of amazing clubs and organizations. Like, I'm just thinking of like African Renaissance and their dance group and that dance fest. Like, you know, Nesby does professional development and conferences every semester and things like that. So just special shout out to all the students who are part of these organizations who are working hard to, you know, keep their grades up as well as keep these clubs alive and welcoming fresh faces into our institution every year. Because, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, our little family of people of color and then the M Room, like, we all have each other to lean on. So shout out to everybody. Yeah. Respectfully, Lehigh, tell the truth because, you know, like I remember doing tours and things like that, and I feel like they want to sugarcoat everything just to get students to come, and then students are hit with the truth. The transition from high school to college is so hard, and you're faced with all these different things like schoolwork, and then you're not feeling comfortable, and then friends, and all these things. Just tell the truth and prepare people for what their minds are getting. Like, yes, Lehigh is low in diversity, but we're working on these issues. Just be like, we're working on it rather than try to sugarcoat it, because then it kind of mentally prepares themselves and also provides them like, here's resources that has helped other students before you where they are now and made their life at Lehigh better, and that's why you can too.
For me personally, I came in thinking like this is gonna be the best time. I'm not gonna experience nothing, and it was really funny because my high school was 99.9% black. There was only one white student in my high school, you know. So it was just a different environment, different, like a culture shock. But it was just like Lehigh sold me on this idea that everything would be cool. I won't have to worry about anything, you know what I mean? If I was able to maybe meet with more people, have more connection and things like that. For instance, like Mocha is what brought me in, Mocha and Lucy. From there, I met an older brother who was a part of my organization, Cap Outside, and he became like a mentor to me. And things like that, in order to like give different people different mentors, resources, let them know of the different things that are here on campus. I feel like there would be something that Lehigh could do better.
It's not even just recruitment, it's also retention.
There's a lot of black people here on campus that don't come back after year one. A lot.
There's so many people who I've known my freshman year not here anymore. Sophomore year, it's like, yeah.
So found a way to be able to keep like these people, like keep us here, you know? If they really emphasize diversity and really care about diversity, keep us here. Like show us, prove to us that you really want us, you know? Long story short, don't lie to us. Yeah, don't lie to us. Tell us it's going to be hard. Let them know the real facts, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to, like, hype Lehigh up. Like, Lehigh's a good school. Lehigh has a lot of opportunities that got me to the position I am right now because if it wasn't for Lehigh, the resources, the opportunities, the people, I wouldn't be able to say that I'm closer to, like, attaining my dream, my goals, you know what I mean? But there's also personal, social things that I was not aware of. Like, for instance, like meeting with people being ignorant of who I am and what I do, assuming things.